Hello guys, how are you? Welcome once again to this beautiful YouTube channel, Ainkosi Wakanda. Guys, today I decided not to go on a field but also to sit down and be in a studio just to finalize the narrative story about Richard Kandt House Museum, as I promised you in my previous video during a visit in part 1. All I'm going to tell is just a short story about what I have experienced inside there, where I was only allowed to use a telephone by taking pictures, not a camera to record video. So guys, I had to respect the instructions, not to disobey. But as I promised you to share every single thing with you, I simply have to make such a little document about the experience I have heard inside there. So, are you ready to listen to the story? And if you're new here and on this YouTube channel, our name is Ainkosi Wakanda. Just reminding you to follow us, subscribe in order to get more notifications about our every single video we upload, and then don't forget to share, like and comment. Thank you very much for your support guys. So let's go. Yo, welcome once again my people. Today it's another vibing day. But guys, before to continue, firstly allow me to do this. I pray to Almighty God, praying for those who passing through different hard times, to show them His mercy and abundant blessings, reminding them that yesterday and even today might be hard, but as long as they are still fighting harder and harder, tomorrow everything will be alright with God. And also guys, I can't forget for praying your every single day activities to be very productive. So God be with you guys. And guys, without wasting our time, about our journey at Kandt's House Museum. Firstly, let me tell you in short, so in order to know who we are talking about and have a little information about which one we are talking about. The Kandt House Museum is the former 1907 residence of Dr. Richard Kandt, Germany's first colonial administrator in Rwanda. It is in Nyarugenge Hill. This historic site details Rwanda's pre-colonial life, German colonial rule, and the founding of Kigali as a capital city. Also, the museum features old photos, artifacts, and a small reptile park. Even though this park was of animals which are in reptile class was being repaired. So at the time I was visiting there, it was closed, and it will be reopened in May 2026, according to the information I have got from the host. So as I was approaching the targeted area, means the Richard Kandt House Museum that I have planned to visit, I entered inside the museum as a Rwandan I had to pay differently from foreigners. Means the locals pay less than international passport holders. So that's why, guys, especially Rwandans, I encourage you to do initiatives, however you could, to make at least a local tourism, so you will explore more and you will have much awareness about many things you never experienced before or you never knew before. At the instant you enter inside from reception, you are going to receive and the most welcome that you never expected before. The host will guide you by explaining shortly, in summary, the history of Rwanda in pre-colonial era, during colonialism, and after colonial time. So the remaining moment is up to you to read and understand by discovering the history by yourself on the papers that are hung on the walls inside the museum. Actually, I'm not going to teach the history of Rwanda because this YouTube channel's niche is not based on education as well, but also all I'm going to do is just to summarize the history about what I have experienced there. And for more information about terminating your curiosity, I would like you to advise you make a local tourism if you're a Rwandan. Whether you're foreigner, come to visit Rwanda and be aware about Africa in general. Briefly, Rwanda before colonial time was monarchy, or a nation that led by a king as a head of kingdom. His advisors as well. As a discoverer, there are so many books there you can find. You can find your time as someone who interested in history and read for exploring more and know much about Rwandan history and Africa in general, as I stated before. Also, Rwandan Kingdom, as the others in Africa, there were some activities that used to be done before colonial time, like pottery for pots, pots that used to cook. There was blacksmithing for hooves to cultivate, spears which used by Ntore to dance during ceremonies, the arrows for king's warriors to fight against enemies in order to protect the nation. There was also some other activities like beehieving to produce honey, and so on and so on. About Rwanda during colonialism or colonial era, the Rwandans' daily activities are the same as other Africans were passing through such time. Was not stopped, but also there are some came as new that needed to be taught, such as those activities were such as knitting, sewing, as I told you guys. At such place you can find books that tell about such histories. In fact, guys, After continuing reading different histories, I finally found that the coming of missionaries in Africa was not just by coincidence. The call to come in Africa for them was first a conference took place in Berlin, in Germany, capital city of Germany. It was November 15, 1884, and that meeting was led by German Chancellor Otto von Bismarck, and it was all for the purpose of settling disputes between European powers of that time, with interest in Africa to create settled borders of ownership, allowing various European nations to claim almost the entire continent, including its resources and the people. So many circumstances happened during colonial time, but guys, all I can tell you is just to make initiatives and do even local or out of country tourism, just to make it into your priorities as far as you could. Thus, to visit attractive places, historical places that hold our African heritage, and also to watch wonders of our beautiful continent, Africa. During ups and downs of colonialism era, all over Africa were some future African leaders who were being educated, and amazing thing, they never lost the chance they have got from schooling, because after decades of colonialism in Africa, some of them, after getting to power, they not only became heroes of Africa, but also they became Pan-Africanists. Everyone in his or her own way, where they became to fight and after proclaim the independence of Africa through their nations that were established by missionaries after entering in Africa by using such maps generated in Berlin Conference. Those Pan-Africanists on the list of the selected ones we can't live without recognizing. Some of them were famous in this beautiful continent, such as Ahmed Sekou Touré from Guinea, Jomo Kenyatta from Kenya, Kwame Nkrumah from Ghana, Leopold Sedar Senghor from Senegal, Kenneth Kaunda from Zambia, King Mutara Rudahigwa from Rwanda, Ibo Keita from Mali, Kambarage Nyerere, Baba wa Taifa from Tanzania, Patrice Emery Lumumba from DRC, Samora Moise Machel from Mozambique, Robert Mugabe from Zimbabwe, Este Kama, Botswana, Amilcar Cabral from Guinea-Bissau, Hastings Kamzung Banda from Malawi, and so many others that I have not mentioned here. All of them were such a good Pan-Africanist. Actually, they all fought for better of Africa. And also, we can't forget to praise the only nation that fought against missionaries until the victory. So, it never been colonized by any European power. Such powerful nation is Ethiopia. And Liberia too never been colonized by European powers because it was established in 1822 as a settlement for freeborn African Americans and the formerly enslaved people backed by US-based American Colonization Society. And guys, as returning on German colonization in East Africa as the part of where Rwanda and its neighboring countries they are located from. In East Africa, Tanzania, excluding Zanzibar, means Tanganyika, Burundi, and Rwanda became a colony of the German Empire in 1891 under the name of German East Africa, and the administration of the territories was initially carried out by the German East African Society, a private trade organization. In the German possessions, there was generally no questions for state penetration. They resorted to existing structures such as the tradition of Shauri in East Africa, a form of negotiations with local chiefs. In Rwanda too, the colonial administrations came to an arrangement with the Rwandan king. Nevertheless, the colonial administration reacted to local resistance with brutal violence through so-called punitive expeditions, armed conflicts, and even campaigns of extermination. Briefly, that is one of all I became to know. If you want to discover more, I advise you to come there and visit there by exploring yourself, because the history is a wide thing. We cannot tell as simple in a single time like this. Actually, Rwanda, as the same as the other African nations, after claiming their independencies, they entered in republic time from kingdom time. Guys, personally for me, it's okay because it meant what it meant to be. But according to my experience about what I have seen to the others, as example, these borders that have been established by missionaries, I wish they could be there to mark sovereignty of our nations, but not to separate us as African community and divide our unity also. At the end of the day, we do need to cooperate each other in one way or another as Africans. So let's unite ourselves, because what unites us is far of much important than what separates us. Not us only, but also even other coming generations for millenniums. Let's unite, let's be the one, guys. Viva Africa.